So now here you see. So in MVC design pattern, okay, we are having a model view controller. So that's concept already we discussed in Spring Framework, right? Can you tell me the rules of controller, model and view? So what are the rules? Same concept here we are getting. So conceptually we are not having any difference, but somewhat framework related classes are changing here. So can you tell me about MVC design pattern here? So what, like tell me about controller. What is the main role of controller? Sai or Samya?
The controller takes the input from the user and it then processes whatever the input has been sent by the user and checks for the related information that is required to be projected in the model.
Yeah. So the main role of a controller is nothing but accepting the data from the user, right? And then verifies whether the accepted data is valid or not. If ever it is valid, then forwards that request to action classes. Okay, let me show diagrammatically here. Please give me 1 minute so that I will show the diagrammatic representation of threads. So imagine this is user here. And imagine this is server. Imagine this is controller here. Okay, this is a controller. And imagine this is a model. And this is view. And one more thing you will get, which is called action. Imagine this is action. So which is going to handle the request here. And then we need to show one more file, which is configuration file we need to show, which is called struts-config.xml. That is view. And the next one is struts configuration file, which is known as struts.xml. This is struts.xml. So one of the configuration file here. So whenever request came from the user, okay. So whenever request came from the user, initially controller accepts the request in MVC pattern. So we know very well how MVC pattern works, right? So how MVC pattern works here, design pattern works here. Can you tell me right now? How MVC design pattern works in the server level? Any one of you? Sai and Soumya.
It's like when this user provides an input to the controller, the controller will find the respective model, and
Yes.
after finding the respective model, whatever the output is there, it will show it in the view using the action classes.
Yes.
That's it. Right?
See, whenever request came from any user, initially controller accepts that request. Then controller verifies whether the request is valid or not. So if ever the request is valid request, then this controller looks up into a configuration file or a struts configuration file, which is called struts.xml. That is to find suitable action class. Okay, so action class is nothing but normal Java class here. So whenever the suitable Java class or action class find it by the controller, then forwards that request to action class, right? So then this action class process that request. Okay, process that request means whenever request is processed, response generates there. So after response is generated here, then the controller finds the suitable view. Okay, finds the suitable view. Here view represents some JSP. Okay, and forwards that data to view. Then view formats the data or response as per the user's requirement, and then returns that request to user. Sorry, returns that response to user. So finally, the response returns from view to user. This is the process, right? So understood all of you right now? Yes. Now tell me
Chandra,
what are the queries we are
yeah,
having?
what is the role of model?
Yeah, at present we are not having any role for model. This model holds the data. Whenever data is needed for the user, then it collects the data from the model. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
this is the main thing here.
But
So you want me to show
in
the example on this?
In MVC, do we have any configuration like earlier we you have explained as model view control, right? But in that, have you used any .xml files in there?
Yes, yes, that XML file is here, which is called structs.xml. That
Yeah.
is in case of structs only.
Okay. Then, what is the actual difference between the model MVC and Structs?
There is some disturbance is getting side.
Yeah, what is the difference between MVC and Structs?
MVC and structs means actually structs is a framework built MVC design pattern.
Using the MVC design pattern.
Yeah, you are right.
Okay. MVC can survive independently without Structs. That's my
Sorry,
question.
come again.
Can MVC work without Structs?
No, some disturbance is getting your side from your side, Sai. Please check that.
Is it clear now? No?
Yeah, right now it is clear. Tell me, Sai.
Okay. My question is, earlier you have taught us model view control, but in that I haven't seen
Yes.
any .xml file being used. But over here we are using struct.xml. So,
Yes, right.
yeah. So how these both are different? Like you are in first lesson that you have taught about MVC and this using the struct.xml. Like what are the advantages or disadvantages that you will be having using each of them?
Let me show the example here first. Okay, now here you see, this is action class. And this is another configuration file which is known as struts.xml. Okay, struts.xml, and then web.xml, and then JSP files like error.jsp, success.jsp, and then index.jsp. So just you see the request flow. How request flow means how request processing here. So initially the user sent the user sends some username and password with this JSP called index.jsp, right? Okay. Now here you see we created a text field, but why we used yes colon here? Yes, some of the predefined tags given from struts framework known as struts related tags, right? Some struts tags are given here. Okay, understood. So by using those tags, we are going to create some fields using. Okay, you see, text field we created. So like HTML, we are not given some input type is equals to text like that. So we are not given that, right? So simply we created or we given text field, and to create a password field, here you see password is given. A tag is given which is called password, right? Like that, to create text field and password field, here we used two tags called text field and then password, like that. Okay, understood? Now, for the created text field, a name is given which is called username, and then password, for password field another name is given which is called password, right? And you see this is a label. Label represents some text. Okay, just wait please. So let me start server here. 1 minute. After this field here. Yeah, repository is failed here. Let me change the repository. Just I'm changing the repository here. Let me change the repository. Now here you see, is it clear right now what I configured? So I observed the configuration what I done here till now. Yes, I and Samya. Is it clear right now? What the
Yes, sir.
configuration I done till now? Like how
Yes, sir.
struts configured and how the server added here, like that.
Yeah, yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So here you see, just with the normal message I'm showing, like how we will get a message. So is it visible for you right now? The font. Okay, now here you see this. So after server is started here, you see I'm going to execute index.jsp run as run on server. Now restart the server here. Server is restarting. Yes, now we need to enter some name. So just I given my name and submitted. You see. So hello. Then what is the name we given here? That name showing, and then welcome to Structs 2, right? So how this request processed here, right? That's very important point. So user sent some request here, right? Fine. Now how that request processed here? Processed here, you see. Now we created a text field, okay, with some name here. What is the name? What is the name given for the text field? Name only. And label. Label means before of the text field. You see what the text displayed here. Yes. Enter your name. So what is the text we want to, or we need to display that the text is given with a attribute called label. Okay, understood? Then followed by submit button. So here we created submit button, and so the alignment is exactly at center, right? And what is the text we want to place on the submit button? That's what we represented with the attribute called value, right? Fine. So let me show another configuration file which is called structsconfig.xml. Okay. See, whenever we send a request for the controller, or whenever we send a request for the server, then container accepts the request and then finds what is the name we given for action here, like hello action. So like a controller finds whether the request sent by the user is valid or not. How it is? Yes, simply it looks up this action which is called hello action and then looks up into structs.xml whether any action name is associated for that name or not. Yes, what is the class associated for the name? Hello world action. Okay, is it clear right now? So understood point here?
Yes, Chandra.
So then it executes that hello world action. This is the action class. Okay, this is the action class. This action class should have a method which is called execute method. Okay, that means here structs controller. So what is structs controller here? Yes, the structs controller is nothing but filter dispatcher. That means here initially this filter dispatcher accepts the request what we sent and then finds whether it is a valid request or not. If it is finded as a valid request, then it looks up into a structs configuration file which is called structs.xml to find the suitable action class. Okay, so here suitable action class is finded. Yes, how controller find suitable action? Yes, that's why it looks up into an action which is called like this. You see, hello world action, right? So that's why it executes or it runs the execute method presented in the action class, right? So is it clear, right?
Chandra.
So understood here what we do? That is structs flow of structs. Okay, fine. Now the execute method. You see, whenever this execute method is executed by the structs controller, which is called filter dispatcher. Okay, this method returns a string. Okay, then this is text returns to a view. This view is also known as, or this view represents as a tag called result. Okay, that is to find the suitable JSP to format the response generated by action class. Structs controller looks up into structs.xml file once again. That is to find the suitable view, which is called result. So what is the name given for the result here? Success. So this name returns from the action class. So what we return from action class here? Success. Okay. Yes. Now this name associates with one JSP file is called success.jsp, so that it executes a JSP file which is called success.jsp. Okay, and what is the value associates for this name? Okay, yes. Here you see this name associates with some text. Welcome to struts 2 like that. So finally, we will get the response from JSP like this. Okay, let me re-execute the program. So if I given the name as Rakesh and if we submit it, you see we got hello Rakesh. Welcome to struts 2, right? Understood? So is it clear right now all of you?
Yes or no?
That is the request law of Structs. Now you ask me if any queries are there. If any queries, please ask me right now. Sai and Soumya.
No, Chandra.
Is it clear right now? And what about you, Soumya?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, fine. Now let me take one more example here. Let me load that example into Eclipse first. So now you please observe how we are loading the examples into Eclipse using. Go for import option and you select existing projects into workspace. Go for next and browse where it is located. Let me check. Now here you see initial I am showing the execution so that now if I given the username as admin and the password also admin here. When we clicked on this, you see we got a message or we got a response like this. Hello admin, welcome to Structs 2 framework, right? So like that we got the response. Understood? Yes, how it is generated you see once again. Yes, in this example also we created a text field and for the text field we given a name called uname and before of the text field we given the label like this, right? Enter username and you see password, name is equals to password and the label also be given here you see like that. Okay, and then we created submit button also. So is it clear right now? So understood point here what I told you?
Yes, Chandra.
Yeah, fine. So here like when we clicked on the submit button, then our controller, yes, what is controller here? What is controller? Instance framework.
Action.
No, the action is different. Request processor it is, right? Action class process the request, right?
Okay.
Okay. What is controller class? What is controller here? Controller name. What I'm asking? Yes, is nothing but filter dispatcher, right?
Yeah, filter dispatcher.
user dispatcher accepts the request what we sent from here. So what we are sending here, username and then password. Okay, fine. Then the controller verifies the action name what we given. Okay, so what is the name we given here? It verifies that and then looks up into struts configuration file. It is called struts.xml. That is to verify what is the class associated for the name called verify. Understood? Is it clear right now? That is Java 4s dot logging x. This is the package name and this is the actual class name. Logging x is the action class. So that means this name associated with this class. That means when we given or when we send a request with this name, then our controller executes the method called execute method from a class called logging x. Okay, then let me open logging x here. You see this. Okay, here we have a method called execute method. So, like what is the data we given from there? So what is the data we given from there? Username and then password, right? You see. So username and then password. So it sets or it executes some setter methods using. Like for example, if given username is admin, then our controller passes that data to set uname method so that it sets that value into the variable what we created here as uname and then password also. Okay, that is to set the password. It executes a method called set password method. Okay, so that what is the value we given for set password method assigns that into the declared variable called password. So once assignment is completed by the controller, then executes one more method which is called execute method. Okay, then this execute method verifies or through this execute method, so some verification. So like it verifies the given username and password. So if ever the given username is defined as admin and password also admin, then it returns the value called success. So this value should associate with one JSP. Okay, then it finds that a suitable JSP to return the response. That's what result. So what is the name given here? Success. And what is the JSP file associated for that? Success.jsp, right? Understood? Then return success.jsp and error.jsp. So if success returned from action class, then it executes success.jsp. Otherwise, error.jsp. Okay, if a success.jsp is executed, then what is the output we will get? Yes, hello admin. So what is the name we given from the text field? That name shows here and then followed by some text. Welcome to Structs framework, like that. If error.jsp executed here, then simply what we will get? Error page is this, something like that, right? So if this program, like for example, if invalid username and password is given, then let me show what is the output you will get here. Now let me type the username as admin1 and password also admin1. And when we click on this, you see, so which JSP is executed here? Error page is this, but actually it is not showing anything here. You see clearly, just name is showing verify dot action. That means here the request sent with the extension called dot action. So that extension also verifies by the controller whether the request came from user with the extension dot action or not. If ever the request came with the extension dot action, then it shows, then it finds that as a valid request, otherwise not. So understood point here, all of you? Is it clear right now? Understood. Yeah, Soumya and Sai, is it clear right now? Both of you, Sai and Soumya. That is about today's session. So any queries, please ask me right now. If any queries, please ask me right now.
No, Chandra.
Yeah, fine. So this is completely built on MVC, right?
Yeah.
It's
So we
completely
have
built on
done the
MVC.
same thing even without MVC, right, Chandra?
No, no, that is MVC only.
No, like we have used some other only JSP files, only JSP and servlet, and we were able to show the output in some other window.
Yes.
Yeah, that is like purely JSP without any structs and MVC, right?
Ah, we can do that also, no problem.
Yeah,
But little bit complicated process it is. It is a complicated
yeah.
process.
So this is like simplifying, right? That's it, right?
That means here, yeah, like the main thing is maintenance is very easy here.
Like if you if
Maintenance is very easy
yeah,
when application is created with a fixed design pattern.
what design pattern? MVC.
Sorry?
You said something design pattern.
Ah, yes, this is one of the design pattern here, right? You are right.
No, MVC design pattern or something.
No, no, this is design pattern only. Structs is completely built with MVC design pattern. If any
Okay.
application created with MVC design pattern, its maintenance is very easy.
Okay.
That is the main advantage. Okay.
Okay, Chandra.
Yeah, that's it uh, for today's session. Any queries, please ask me right now.
And no, Chandra. Chandra, did you find my class, Chandra, that I have missed?
Like, which class you missed here?
Even I forget now. I think it is on
Yeah,
August 2nd or something, second or third.
actually, I think recorded. Oh, okay. You take recording, right? You asked the recording session, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I will take the extra session for you. What you missed?
Okay. Okay, Chandra. I'll let you know where I have missed. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thanks, Chandra.
yeah, fine, right.
Bye, bye, Chandra.
And yeah, Madam Sindhya, so anything sessions you missed here? Hello? Yeah, can you hear me right now? And can you send me the recorded session, today's recorded session, please?
Okay,
Right?
Chandra. Yeah, but it will take time, Chandra, to convert. So might be
Yeah, no problem.
by tomorrow is fine.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Yeah. Okay, Chandra.
Okay. Okay. Have a good day. Bye, all of you.
Yeah. Bye, bye.